Hello and welcome to the second video of the Minecraft Blockbench series. So today we're going to be making something a bit more advanced, and this is also from Minecraft Legends. We're going to make the Minecraft Legends Portal Guard. So first thing, of course, we're gonna, while that thing loads up, we're gonna open up generic model, create new, and name it Portal Guard. Now that we got that done, I'm just gonna turn back on preview checkerboard. We're gonna search here for images of the Minecraft Portal Guard. So we need something with a decent concept art style. So we can get, let's say, maybe we can write art at the end. Yeah, there we go. We can take multiple styles, I guess. So we can take this one's kind of good. Oh, and there's different looks for it too, so we could use that, or we could use this one. I'm liking this one more. So like we said, you drag, drop, fit it to your size. For our case, we just need the character inside, so we can just shrink it until we get just that character. There. So first things first, we're gonna make his body. So his body's like a giant, just like box. So we can make it like, let's see here. Okay, 33 for our x-axis, and then for our height, we want it to be like around that 33, but just a bit higher. So maybe that. Okay, never mind. We've changed it. So it's the x-axis is 31, and the y-axis is 37. So now, of course, for the depth. So we're just gonna add around that. Perfect. So that means in total, the whole character would be 31x, 38y, and 19 in z. Now for his legs. His legs are about almost kind of together, but a bit thin. So actually, now when I think of it, I think we might have made, actually never mind, no, we've made it perfect. So now we're just gonna copy it. We're gonna make another leg, maybe like that, and then yeah, like that. And then we just gotta make it that his legs actually look like legs by making them more in than the body. Okay, so his legs are 12 by 17 by 15. So, by the way, the reason I'm telling you every so often is because in case you ever want to make the exact same model like I'm making, you can use that, basically. So now we're just going to put him back on the ground plane. So we're just going to raise him up. Put him a bit to the side. And now for the arms. So actually, before his arms, let's do his belt. So he has like a little belt almost. So for it, we can just take the original one we made and then shrink it around like that, and then by a bit more in thickness. Perfect. So that's his belt. So in case you're wondering what the belt is, 32.2, 10, and 20.9, 20.2. So now that we got him done, or actually almost done, I forgot, we still need to add the pieces on the belt. So for the pieces on the belt, we're actually gonna copy the body himself, and then we're gonna make like a reasonable size for a kind of badge almost. And yeah, I think that's good. Let's just shrink it down a bit and make it a bit bigger, and then put it in the middle, a bit higher. I don't know why it's not stretching there. Okay, so for the belt, it's gonna be 10, 6, and 2. And then as for the other two sides, you know what, let's do that quickly. So we're just gonna there. So that's his belt. For the other one, it's sizes 6, 5, and 2. So now that we got that, we're just gonna add the final touches this time, which is like that little part that covers. So look around like down there. And then this is where we use the pivot tool. And we rotate it. The plane size is 14.290. Now that we got that part done, let's just raise it a bit, because if you look closely, you can see there's a bit of a gap. Perfect. And then for the little top part, so like that, put it there. Perfect. So now that we got that finished, oh my god, there is so much texture to him. That is insane. You know what? We'll put the belt aside. Let's just group the belt and name it, of course, belt. I don't think it took everything. There. Now it took the entire belt. Now for his hands or arms or whatever, we're gonna grab his foot and we're gonna remake it into his arm. Oh my god, this can be a whole creature on its own. Okay, so we're gonna put it around shoulder like that. His arm is almost like a perfect square, but at the same time there's a bit of kind of like that, and then length would be around, like if he was perfectly still, it'd be around the end of the belt, so like around like that. So as you can see here, there's like this little part that looks like it should be textured. We can texture it, or we can turn it into a whole model on its own, but for now we're just gonna make it that it's the way it is. So as you can see, it's 11 by 11. We don't want that. We want it to be a bit slim, because that's how the arms look like right now. So I think that's about well. Maybe just a bit shorter. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so our full arm length in total is 9, 29, and 11. So the difference with this and the other arms is that this arm's gonna have the mace or the flail at the end, while the other one's gonna have like a giant boulder. So for this one, to make it, we're gonna take a little look at this, so it looks like that's a block actually on its own. So this is the part where we're gonna hide everything except the arms, and we're gonna make another cube, and from here we're gonna make the mace. So first we can put it beside the arm so we can see as a size reference. That seems good enough. And then just make it a bit bigger for the next part. Actually, no, more bigger. Now, while we could work on, you know, like actually making it that the mace can bend and working on that, we're gonna do that at the end. So while we're working on the mace right now, we can actually talk about how the idea of modeling and concept art work together. So like for concept art, for example, what the mace I'm doing right now, you can look at it from a bunch of different angles that the concept artist should have made, and then, you know, you just make it. So the difference between like using reference images and just like random images on the web is because using a reference image works better because you can actually see all the angles, and that's why you should choose one that shows the full body and not just like a small part of him. Okay, now when I look at him, I think it can be 10. Yep, 10. So, I think we've got the arm mace part done. It could be longer, but it shows here it's just 4 chain links. You know what, maybe we'll add an extra thing here. Perfect. So we're gonna name that whole part Balail. Also, I've actually played Minecraft Legends a bit, and it's fun, yeah, but like, oh, there are so many little piglins. It's like repetitive. But hey, what's a game without any repetitive in it? Okay, so we're gonna add some extra depth. I do not know why it's not there. Also, that size is 9.8, 3 and 11 by 8. Now I'm actually gonna stop just telling you what it is. If you want to know so badly, then you can just check beside the model whenever I'm actually working on it. And if you see me like let go, you can go back to see what size it originally was. Okay, so I think that's good. Yeah. We still gotta add the same thing like this, but all the way at the bottom, because that's like where the flail part actually works. Just make it like that. Boom. So that's our first piglin arm. So a lesson when grouping something that already is in a group. So this is called, like, or at least I call it multi-grouping. So like let's say here we have the arm and then we have the flail. You drag it in, not grabbing the whole thing and expecting it to do it on its own, or else it can glitch, and when you animate it's not going to work properly. So it's turning out great in a way, but like I actually, now when I think of it, I think the body could be smaller. So let's shrink it down a bit. Okay, now it's 31, 31, and 19. And we could just grab the arm again and lower that too. Yeah, now that actually fits with the rest of the reference image, and that's why it makes more sense now. Also, something I realized, I think we might have made his body a bit too wide. You know what, we could just shrink it by like say 1, 2. No, but that would make it look a bit off. No, you know, I think when we add the head, it's gonna change. So now that we got that arm done, let's work on the other arm. The other arm's like a giant, just like mace, like practically a giant mace. So we're gonna drag our original arm right over here, take it out of the group, hide away arm and hide away the rest of the body. So now that we got this back arm, so for this arm we're gonna shrink him so we can add the rest of top part. So one of the parts we need is gonna make it be 10, 10, 10. Actually, this part might be a bit bigger than that, so we'll make it 12 actually. The important part is that it fits. Okay, it actually goes inside of his arm. So like that, yeah. Okay, so I think that's about done. We can shrink the rest of the arm. Perfect. So that, and that. We're gonna actually grab that actually, so change. Actually, no. I was. No. Like that. Yeah. Now for the annoying part, adding the specs on the mace. So we're gonna hide those two. And we have to add a bunch of little dots on the mace. So in Minecraft Legends, they're just cubes. In the concept art, sometimes they're triangles. Yeah, never mind. We're gonna make it just cubes. Also, cubes are easier. So the specs are around like 2 blocks high. So they're basically a 2x2. And there's 2 on each side. So we're just gonna grab. You can put those specs like randomly. But if you want like to hurry up basically your model, you can just make it that whatever side you make, you can just copy it. So like I can grab that, copy that, put it on the down one. I just realized that these are useless because they're gonna look a bit different. I'm actually gonna rotate it around -180. 180 is basically like half of it, which means you'll flip it perfectly. And then okay, boom, mace, done. So now we can check on the full arm. So add group, arm 2, and that doesn't need anything extra, so let's see what it looks out fully. Okay, that's turning out pretty good. Of course, when we actually put it in its position, it's gonna turn out much better. But this is pretty good for the way it's working right now. So, we've done the arm, we've done the hand. Wait, we've done both arms, and we've done the legs, the belt, and the body. Now for the biggest part, the head. So the head, because we don't have the full thing, we can actually just like improvise. So we're just gonna make it like a box, a giant box actually. It's just pretty much a big box, and then maybe like flat. It has to be flat. That's the weird thing about piglins actually. They have like flat heads, and I always wonder where does the brain come from for them to actually invade the overworld? How does that work? Then again, there's like they're talking walking pigs, so like, not really much of a challenge. Okay, so he's got different parts. He's got that part kind of almost going up. So the version we're making kind of looks like that. So it's actually first just like a giant nose, first of all. Oh my god, I can see this as like a turret golem boss. And then we're gonna shrink his nose up to that. And then of course we need to add the tusks, or else he's not really a piglin, he's just a pig with a really cool suit of armor. So we're gonna grab that, make it like around like that, and then another one. Okay, so those are the tusks. It's turning out good. I think they have a gap between the tusks and the nose. Yeah, they have like a small gap. You can make that small gap by just control. Yeah, so now there is a gap. And then we can either make something like a giant thing like that, or like a small one like that. Let's actually first just work on the rest of him, which is those parts that come on the side. Actually, that can be all texture. Yeah, we can just make that texture. So now all we need to do is just add a giant head to the top. Make it just a bit bigger. Make it go right above the nose. Shrink it. There. And also, since that head and that head's a different size, we're just gonna, maybe we could I don't know, maybe we can grab the top part, like that top part, and then just make it a bit bigger, shrink it up like that, and then we can call that the top part. And then for those things at the sides, I think it doesn't go fully around, but it goes a bit, so we can just like put it into the corner. There, that. Then the only holes for his eyes would be, we can actually change the marker color to like red, so we can see where does his eye, where would his eyes show. Yeah, it'd need to shrink by a lot. Okay, so maybe like that. No, actually, I mean, anyway, the only thing for his eyes is just like a giant cube. Yeah, I think we can do that. And then we'll just make that just a tad bit higher. Take those two, make it also a tad bit higher. Okay, so now that we got that part finally out of the way, we can actually work on the hardest and most annoying part, which is that hair in the back and his ears. So those, we're gonna turn them into planes. So another side scroll about what a plane is. So a plane is any block that is less, or basically it's 0 pixels thick, which basically means that if you take something and like an erase tool and put it through it, it'll drill through it. So in our case, we're gonna grab that top part and we're gonna turn it into a bunch of planes. So we're just gonna make it big enough. And also, since we don't want to waste time, we can just keep that, and then when we want to make the texture, we can copy that texture. As for the ears won't matter because it will be the one big texture. So we're just gonna grab that, make it into a plane. He's got like small ears. And then we're gonna make them a flap open, so maybe like 20. Or actually a bit more. Yeah, negative 27.5. We're gonna try to fit that somewhere there. Okay, the whole creature is already big on its own, so I can. Okay, yeah. And we're just gonna copy that, make it not negative, and then just drag it to the side that we want it to be. So our character is almost done. We just need to do the final details. So one of those final details is the giant gold plating. So for that giant gold plating, we're going to use another plane, but this plane is just for decoration. Or actually not a plane, we're going to actually make it that it's a box, but most of that box is going to be erased later on. So we can shrink it up to like there, yeah. Actually a bit higher. There. Okay. So for the mace also we have to add the more of those dots there. But if this is also 10 by 10 by 10 and the other one it isn't, but we could use the dots from it, so we can just maybe like, actually no, we're gonna, because it's a little like it drags it a lot. Nope, never mind. Yeah, we're gonna add that. I'm just gonna make them this time because they're small, actually still 2x2s. Copy it. Okay, so something about this video you should probably know. This video we're only gonna be doing the modeling for now, while the texturing will be done later in a different video. Just so we can keep the videos nice and short, and also in case you really don't need any tips about texturing and all you really care about is just the model side. I mean, don't worry, I suck at texturing. I just found little like secrets that I can use. Anyway, okay, so he's done. I don't think he's got anything more that we should add because this flap I don't think we really need. So sorry, but part of the modeling is we're gonna position him, and also we gotta put him in bones, so we gotta actually see that body and that part are both part of his body. So we're gonna add that to body. We're gonna drag his belt, also part of body, because it's kind of connected. Okay. Arm 2 is already in a body. Arm is in a body. His legs aren't, so we're gonna say here left leg. For the next one, it's gonna be right leg, right egg, right leg. And then we're gonna see which one. So it's that one. Put it in bones, make them non-visible, and everything else is his head. So we're gonna name it head. So now it's much more clean, and now we can actually see it whenever we want, especially for when the texturing phase comes in. But for now, let's just position him, like at least at the pivot part. So we're gonna make the first pivot tool for the head around there. So now he can rotate his head. For the left leg, it's gonna be pretty obvious, just like right there. Right leg. Also, something you should know when you add like pivot tools to stuff, this means that it only works for the thing you add the pivot tools for. So if you add it to the bone, like left leg and right leg, you can see that the pivot tool's there. But if you go on the cube, it changes it entirely. So you have to make sure to know that, so when you do it. So for arm, it's gonna be like right in a bit. Arm 2 is also going to be a bit in, except just a different kind of in, because it's heavier and looks different. And of course, for the flail part of arm, we're going to just grab flail and change its pivot point. There. So now we can make him in whatever position we want, but for now we'll keep him in the static position. And yeah, so that's the introduction for adding models, and that's like the bit more advanced one. If you didn't understand a single thing in this video, then I really recommend watching the first video, which teaches you how to make a turret golem from Minecraft Legends. And it's much more like simpler, basic, teaches you even a bit about animation. While this one is more advanced and it's trying to get as much detail as you can in the model. So, thanks for watching this video. You can subscribe if you want, of course. And yeah, that's it. Bye.